In Maine, a high-stakes Senate race is heating up, causing drama for Democrats, now with an extra twist of Nazi symbolism.
My name is Graham Platner, and I'm running for U.S. Senate in Maine.
Democratic candidate Graham Platner running to unseat longtime Republican Senator Susan Collins, under fire for a controversial tattoo on his chest, a skull and crossbones symbol historically associated with the Nazis.
I am not a secret Nazi.
The oyster farmer and military vet saying he got the tattoo in 2007 in an interview on the left-leaning Pod Save America podcast this week, saying he was not aware of the symbol's history when he chose it on a night of drinking while serving in the U.S. Marines.
I can honestly say that if I was trying to hide it, I've not been doing a very good job for the past 18 years.
A video circulating shows Platner dancing without a shirt at what he says was his wedding nearly 10 years ago, the tattoo on full display. In a statement, Platner telling NBC News in part, "It was not until I started hearing from reporters and D.C. insiders that I realized this tattoo resembled a Nazi symbol. I absolutely would not have gone through life having this on my chest if I knew that." On Wednesday, Platner posting a video on social media showing he got the tattoo covered up.
And I got this to cover up the skull and crossbones.
Despite the backlash, some big-name Dems standing behind him.
Impressed that media is so concerned about the tattoo.
Senator Bernie Sanders defending his endorsement of Platner and bristling when I asked him this.
Do you think it's necessary that he gets it removed or covered up?
Look, once again, we are dealing with a collapsing healthcare system. As a result of Trump's policies, 50,000 Americans may die unnecessarily every year. And you were asking me about whether or not a guy should get a tattoo removed? Sorry.
Platner also apologized for some old, since-deleted Reddit posts that included downplaying sexual assault concerns in the military.
I made comments that I'm not happy about, that I do not agree with.
The turbulent campaign from the grassroots candidate setting up a showdown for the Democratic primary against a more established current governor, Janet Mills, who entered the race just last week with her own powerful backers.
We think that Janet Mills is the best candidate to retire Susan Collins.
With President Trump brushing off scandal after scandal, now candidates on both sides of the aisle bucking critics and sticking in races.
Do you think that scandals are no longer the death sentence that they used to be in political campaigns?
They seem not to be, and that seems to be the biggest difference in this Trump era, with candidates refusing to bow out because they think that they can get beyond this scandal. And many times they're proven right and voters are willing to forgive them.
And another recent tattoo scandal, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth facing tough questions in his confirmation hearings, including about his Jerusalem cross tattoo, a symbol some say is used by religious extremists. Hegseth defended himself, bringing up the funeral of President Jimmy Carter.
On the front page of his program was the very same Jerusalem cross. It is a Christian religious symbol.
And he was confirmed. Now, Democrats are wondering if their oyster farmer candidate can wash away any bad taste.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.